Lynn. Today is Sunday, September 29th, and I am Lynn Huber.
And I'm Richard.
And this is Richard. So I want to welcome you guys all out today. If you're here, say hi so we know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay in the comments. Let me go ahead and move some things. Let's see. Put that up there. And we'll switch that around. There we go. I think that's better. So I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so you guys can see my screen now. Can't really make that smaller. Hey, Kristen, good to see you. Hi, Patricia. Glad you're here. So today we're going to talk about 15 things that you don't have time for when pursuing big goals. And that just happens to be my last blog post, so we can just click on it here. But hey, Carla, good to see you. I'm going to pick on you today. And Denise, good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see. And I love your new profile pic, Denise.
Yeah, you did a good job on that.
Yeah.
I like that picture.
So let's talk about 15 things you don't have time for when you're pursuing big goals. So, you know, there's all kinds of things we could be wasting our time on, right? And people that get mediocre results are usually because they're spending their time on those things that maybe aren't necessarily moving them forward. Hi, Sheila. Good to see you. Everybody else can't hear anything. Nobody can hear me? Uh-oh.
Volume.
Hello. Well, I'm saying I'm getting volume. You guys can't hear me? Hi, Priscilla. Can you hear me? Okay, no problem. Carla must have heard me.
Yeah. If it's not us, check your audio on your computer.
Yeah, there's a couple. Sheila says no video or audio. Patricia can't hear anything. Can somebody please tell me if you, okay, Carla can hear me. Awesome.
Okay.
So those of you that can't hear me, check your volume or something. I don't know. You probably can't hear me say that anyway. So let's go ahead. We're just going to move forward. Denise, now I can hear you. Awesome, awesome. Priscilla says she can hear. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Okay. I was getting nervous there. Okay, so let's talk about those 15 things you don't have time for when you're pursuing big goals. So, you know, when you're working towards your goal, it's just critical that you watch out for those distractions that are going to hold you back. I mean, they come in all kinds of forms, shapes, and sizes, and they can wreck everything that you're trying to achieve if you're not careful. So you want to stay focused and intentional. And so here's some things that you don't have time for, right? Worrying about things you can't. I'm sorry, I'm just looking. Okay, now I can. Okay, worrying about things you can't control. So ask yourself what you're accomplishing by worrying about things outside of your control. Seriously, if you don't have any control over it, what good does it do to worry about it, right? It is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And worrying has never solved anything. And I'm a worrier, so trust me, I know it doesn't solve anything. Next one, worrying about the opinions of others. You know, people think about you less than you think. When you're trying to accomplish something challenging, you just don't have time to worry about what other people are thinking. And the funny thing is most people are thinking about themselves. You know, we all are. That's just how we're made. We all are a lot about ourselves. And trust me, I mean, there may be people that may be judging you, and if they are, it's because they are insecure to begin with. But unless they have a problem with their insecurity or whatever, which still means nothing, then more than likely they're not worried about what you're doing. They're not worried about how you look or how you act. So really, don't let it bother you. And if they are worried, hey, that's their problem, right? That's their problem. Bonnie, good to see you. Okay, perfect. You guys are all there. So wasting time in general. So big goals require time, and you don't have time to waste on things. So keep a record of how you're spending your time for a day if you're not sure. So you might not be spending your time the way you think you are. It's amazing how easy it is to get sucked into Facebook or sucked into anything. I mean, we can be sidetracked all day long. If you have kids at home, you can be sucked into what's going on with your kids or your spouse. If you have the TV on, that's probably a big mistake during the day. because you might walk by the TV or something that's on it might catch your attention. But before you know it, 2 or 3 hours has gone by and you haven't accomplished what it is that you plan to accomplish. So be really careful about that, about wasting time. And surfing the internet, that's a huge time waster. You know, it just seems like it flies by while you're watching a parakeet play the organ. I mean, I don't know. I kind of do Facebook weird. I get on it in spurts, and I get on it and I do what I have to do and I get off. Or I scroll through and see what my friends are doing and I comment, and I might see a video I like and I share it. But I really don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. It's usually in like 10-minute increments, like several times throughout the day. But it's okay to be on It's okay to be on Facebook. It's okay to be on social media or online surfing the internet. Just make sure that you know how you're spending that time. Is that helping you to get your goals, or is it not? Because if it's not, you might want to reconsider that.
Yeah, definitely want to keep your focus on what you need to do. Get done what you have to do. If you go in there to do something, keep working on it. I have a big problem with that because that's just me. I see squirrels all day long. So that's just my personality. So I've learned to just get in there, and whatever I'm doing, I go in and I make sure I'm focusing on doing it. And if something else distracts me, I'll make a note of it on the side or something to go back and look at it later. So yeah.
Yeah, Richard is Mr. Blue. If you guys know the personality colors at all, Richard is Mr. Blue, and he can't stand the idea that somebody's having fun on Facebook without him. So I'm sure it is hard for you to stay focused. So TV, you know, so many successful people don't even own a TV. When we were working hard to build our business in the beginning, we never watched TV. We never turned it on. We didn't have time. Yeah, back then we were working an awful lot of hours, and we were lucky to get things done. But if at the very least, if you want to watch TV, then record. If you have a DVR, use that and record the shows that you want to watch, and then watch them when it's not going to interfere with you getting your business built. You know, you can watch it later at night before you go to bed or whatever, but just plan it rather than just idly sitting there watching TV and just, you know, glazing over it.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days when we used to record shows, and it might be an hour or an hour and a half that we would watch that show late at night. It could be 10:30, 11 o'clock at night that we were watching a show. But the only reason we were watching is because we were labeling Avon brochures. Sit in front of it, and we'd be labeling up 1,000 Avon brochures while we were watching the show.
Yeah, we used to buy 13 to 1,600 brochures, depending on the time. But you know that Richard has a good point there. You can use that time watching TV where if you want to watch TV, then use the time productively. Be labeling brochures or something like that, something that's going to help your business. So playing on your smartphone, same thing as the internet, or gosh, games are even worse, right? Try to spend a day without looking at your smartphone unless someone calls you. Notice how everyone else around you just spends all their time looking at their phone. Oh my gosh, that's my pet peeve when I'm driving. Is in Utah, they don't seem to enforce that, and everybody is on their phone. And man, they wonder why there's so many accidents here. People drive like crazy people, and mostly it's because they're driving and they're looking at their phone and they don't even know what's ahead of them. And they change lanes, they stop in the middle of the street, and I'm just terrified I'm going to get killed by somebody on their phone. And you know, if you're stopped at a red light, have you ever noticed people walking across the street in the crosswalks? They're still looking at their phone. They're walking and they're looking at their phone. So you know.
I just recently saw, it's kind of like a meme on Facebook that somebody posted. A lot of people have been posting it, but they've done is they've taken couples. They've shown pictures of couples with their hands like this, like they're holding a phone, but they took the phone away, and they showed how much they're missing. You know, they have couples that are together, but they're not paying attention to each other, or kids or whatever. Yeah, it's scary.
I bet you found that on Facebook.
Yeah, but I wrote it down. I looked at it later.
So interacting with the noise of the world. So this goes back to worrying about things you can't control, right? You can't argue about Donald Trump. I mean, you can argue about him, but what good is it going to do, right? You have no control over it. You're not going to change anyone's mind, and no one's going to change yours. We all have our opinions on it. So there's no point in getting in fights with people about what's going on. And, you know, everything that's happening in the news, there's all kinds of things happening in the news. And of course, we want to do, if there's anything we can do to make the world better, we want to, but for the most part, there's not much you can do. So just spend the majority of your attention on things that do matter. Carla says, that's my pet peeve too, trips me out. I had a lady tap me with her car because she was looking at her phone when she came to the red stoplight.
Yeah.
Wow. I would not be happy if someone hit me. But yeah, you know what they do in Salt Lake is they stop 4 car lengths back. So the whole road is like 4 car lengths in between each car because they're all on their phone. And it's like, I'm trying to get somewhere and I don't have time for that foolery. Gosh. Okay. So doing the easy thing. The easy thing's rarely the right thing. It's very rarely what's going to be effective. So when you're working for a big goal, it's doing the effective thing that's going to matter, not the easy thing. The easy thing is rarely what's going to get you there. And worrying about failure, you're guaranteed to fail in the short term. Failure is part of the process. Failure is part of the journey to success. There's no way you're going to get to success without going through failure. So don't worry about it. Just learn from it, adjust your approach, and continue forward. We've talked about that a lot. You make a mistake, things don't go right, you just kind of sit back and go, what did I do wrong, or what happened that wasn't right, or what could have been better, and you make a course correction and you're off on your way again. So that's really important. And then the opinions of those you wouldn't switch places with. So for example, if you wanted to be worth $1 billion, it would be wise to listen to the ideas of billionaires, right? That probably doesn't include your mom or Uncle Jim or your best friend from high school or your neighbor Billy. And it's so funny because, you know, this is the biggest thing that hurts our newest representatives. As you're signing up new representatives, they go home and they tell whoever, their husband or their cousin or their neighbor Billy or whoever, and they say, oh, guess what? I just signed up to sell Avon. And this person goes, oh, man, that was a mistake. You know, my brother's cousin's aunt's neighbor has a whole garage full of Avon. You know what I mean? We've heard all that, right? People, if you need surgery, if your doctor tells you you need surgery, you're not going to go out and get a second opinion from the janitor who works in the building. You're going to talk to another doctor. So don't let the opinions of people who don't know what they're talking about sway you. Don't let them affect you. Trying to be liked by everyone. It's never going to happen. So it's just like worrying about things you can't control because you're not going to be liked by everyone, and it doesn't matter because you're going to be liked by the important people, and the right people are going to like you and you're going to like them, and it's going to be perfect. So don't worry about it. So, you know, you could be the most perfect pianist in the world, but there's going to be people that hate the piano. It's just life. So, and we all have personalities. We have, I don't really know what it is that attracts us to each other, but I guess it's more that we subconsciously feel that you're like me or you're similar to me because we're attracted, like attracts like, right? Or sometimes opposites. But I mean, there's something that attracts us, but we don't have any control over that. So procrastination. There's no time to wait. We don't have time. We're going for a goal. Putting off things suggests that there might be an issue lurking between the surface. So if you're putting things off and you're not working for your goal, then you probably have a problem deeper in the below the surface. You know, I don't know. It could be fear. It could be insecurities, whatever. But identify what it is and work to fix that.
Yeah, a lot of times action will trump it. Most of the time, if you have a fear of something, it's because you're not in motion. Get in motion, and it'll usually you'll work right through it.
Always.
Yeah.
Action trumps fear every time. If you just get into action and just do it anyway, just feel, like I like to say, feel the fear and do it anyway. And within a matter of minutes, once you start doing it, the fear kind of goes back. It's not so bad. And it works. So, but anyway, figure out what it is that's holding you back. So allowing your emotions to guide you when logic should be what's prevailing. So we tend to make choices that serve to decrease our comfort. We're all about comfort level, all of us. We're all about being in our comfort zone. And our minds just normally, and our emotions just normally want us to be comfortable. And so often we'll make decisions in the heat of the moment. And what you want to do is you want to focus on your knowledge and experience to make choices, to make actual choices that are going to support you in your goals instead of just going with what feels good or what your emotions are telling you. Repeating mistakes. Repeating mistakes is a big waste of time. It's like trying to open a locked door over and over. I mean, we've all heard the little saying that says, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? It doesn't work that way.
Yep, that's insanity.
That's insanity, yeah. So learn from your mistakes. Again, make the corrections. Learn what didn't go right. Just reevaluate. It's not a judgment at all. It's more of a, well, I didn't do that right, or, oh, we missed that. And then reevaluate and make a course correction and move forward. Don't sit there and judge yourself, because that's another thing you don't have time for. You don't have time for judgment. So number 15, seeking pleasure versus seeking progress. So seeking pleasure doesn't lead to a good place in the long term. Pleasure seeking tends to make you overweight, lazy, and lost. And hey, I have some issues with that, I guess. We both do. But achieving goals isn't always just about what you do. It's about what you're willing to give up too. And there's going to be things you simply don't have time for if you want to reach those goals. If you want to go to Jamaica, then there's going to be some things you don't have time to do, because you're going to need to put that effort into getting to Jamaica. And so look at the ways that the average person squanders their time and avoid those things, and look at how you tend to waste your time and avoid those things. We don't want to be average, right? I assume you're on this call or on this live because you don't want to be average. So we just don't have time for unsupported behaviors when you're aiming high.
That's right. There, a saying we have is we work hard, but we also play hard.
So, yeah, exactly. So let me see if I can make this work. I have this, and I'm going to take this down and, whoop, wrong one. Okay. I hope this is going to work. Move it over a little. Maybe you can see it better. Okay, well, I'm hoping I can keep that. So let's talk about getting to Jamaica. So I know that actually it's really great news, the new news that Avon put out when they changed the requirements for Jamaica, because I guess LG came in and said, no, we want to take more people. We just took over this company and we want to make it an amazing trip for more and more people. So they changed some of the requirements, and they made it so it's going to be easier for us to get there. And there's lots of ways to achieve it, but this is, I'm going to talk to you about how to do it with Finley the Fox. So in case you don't already know this, Avon has all kinds of fundraisers, and every year we have a plush fundraiser. And this year it's Finley the Fox. And they cost $25. And basically there's lots of things you can do with it. I mean, a lot of times what you can do is a fundraiser where there's a flyer that you can print off, or you can order from Town and Country, or you can print it off from avonnow.com. And you can maybe a Girl Scout troop, or some kind of a Boy Scout service project, or any kind of a church service project, or anything like that, where they're selling these Finleys and they're all collected, and then they're given to the fire department or the police station or a hospital. Excuse me. So the fire department, we did one last year with, I can't remember who it was. We had a different plush. But Richard and I did one last year, and we got a whole bunch of these, and we took them to the fire department. And because when the fire department goes out on a call and a house is burning down, invariably they run into kids who are terrified because their house is burning down. Their parents are hysterical, and they have a plush to give the kid. And these are really nice, and they're really soft and huggly. You know, huggly, that's a good word, right? But they're just really, I mean, it just helps, right? When you're dealing with a child who's terrified. And so that's what this is for.
Can I say real quick, they're really happy to get ours, because a lot of the toys they get are really, really kind of cheap and small. And these are big. These are something the kid can actually, they're soft and cuddly, and they can really grab a hold of it, and really helps ease the tension of the event.
Yeah, the fire department was excited.
Love them, yeah.
Police department's the same thing, because they're dealing with sometimes domestic abuse issues. They're dealing with, you know, even car accidents or whatever, where they're likely to find a child who's distressed. And so it's just nice to have something like this. And then I've had people on my team that have done them for cancer centers, like children's cancer centers or children's hospitals or things like that. Gosh, I don't know what's with my throat. So what this is, and this was posted by my coach, Renee Hobley, in one of the groups. And I don't even think it was her that did it. It was another coach that created this. But this is how you can achieve President's Club is what this one is, but we can just replace PRP with Jamaica. And so you want to determine your starting points. You want to figure out what are your sales right now? And then what do you need? What's your goal? And what do you need? And so then you divide that and you get your difference. You know, how much do you need to sell in order to get there? And then these are $25 each. So you divide your goal by $25 and that tells you how many you need to sell. So for example, in this case, this was for President's Club and this person had $10,000 was what they needed for President's Club and they had 5,000 so far in sales. So they had 5,000 left to go. And if you take that and divide it by 25, which is what you'll get for every Finley you sell, that would leave that you would need 200 Finleys. So now you can make it achievable. Take 200 Finleys divided by 6 campaigns equals 33 a campaign, which is 16 a week or 2 a day. So when you achieve your daily goal of just 2 a day, then you, at the end of the year, you'll have your goal. And it's a win-win because you achieve, in this case, President's Club, and you also have multiple Finleys to give to a wonderful organization. So I am going to pick on one of my reps, Carla. I'll just go ahead and pull it up so you can see it. So Carla is brand new on my team. Hi, Carla. She's brand new on my team. I looked at the computer and it said LOA 3. I'm not sure if this is 3 orders. It might be 4, but she has so far $1,361. That is amazing, by the way.
Yes.
All by itself, that is amazing. So good job, Carla. But if Carla wants to go to Jamaica, she needs to sell, because she didn't sell Avon last year, the minimum goal is $15,000. So she needs to sell $15,000 to get to Jamaica, which means if you take the $15,000 minus the $1,361, she still needs $13,639. Okay, so I took that and I divided it by 25, which means she only needs to sell 546 Finleys to get to Jamaica. So we divide that by 7 campaigns, because now we have 1 and 2 have been added to the new, when they changed the incentive, we have through campaign 2. So that's 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 1 and 2. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 1 and 22. That's 8 campaigns. Yeah, I only did it by 7. So 8. So let's take that. 13, 630, or no. Oh,
546 divided by 8.
546 divided by 8 is 68, 69, roughly. 69 a campaign. 69 divided by 2 is about 35, roughly. 35 a week, or roughly 5 a day, yeah. Right? So Carla, get busy. You only have to do 5 a day. So you know what, though? The reason why I'm doing this is I know that sounds like a lot. And it is. It is. I am not going to lie. Carla has a big stretch ahead of her if she's going to earn this trip. It's, you know, actually, I have my goal. I still have to sell 18,000 to get there. So, but I have a solid base where Carla's brand new. So, but you're going to have a big stretch if you want to get there. But here's the thing is, Finley's is only one way to do it. But yeah. What if you found an organization, whether it be a fire station or a group of fire stations or a hospital, if you found an organization and you made it your goal that you were going to provide them with 550 Finleys, let's just say, and you talk to everybody that you know, everybody, because your thing is about Finleys. You are going to sell these Finleys if it kills you. So you're going to go to church, you're going to talk to everybody at your church, you're going to talk to all of your friends, you're going to say, I'm working so hard. There you go, Carla, the fire department and hospital ideas. Well, let's look at this. So first off, Arnita says, great way to break it down. Arnita says, you can do it, Carla. She says she can do it. And then Carla says, the fire department and the hospital ideas are good ones. Okay, so let's go a little farther, though. Okay, so you made it your mission. Your mission that you're going to come up with 550. Okay, it's really not 550 that you're going to have to sell, because my gosh, you've already sold, 1361. I'm going to assume that was 4 orders. I think, I'm not sure, but let's just say it was 4 orders. That means you're selling about 350 a campaign. So if you did that, if you did 350 times 8 campaigns, that's already 2,800. So that reduces your number. But if you just made it a goal that you're going to sell 550 Finleys, now let's talk about how you can do it. You can make it that's your mission. You talk to everybody you know. You push it, you push it, you push it. We're going into the holiday season, and this is your mission in life, is to get this many Finleys for this hospital. Okay, that's one way to do it. Here's another way. How about you start talking to everybody you know that's in some kind of an organization? Maybe this could be a service project for the Girl Scout troop, or maybe a service project for the Sunday school class, or a service project for the women's league or whatever at your church. And you could have 100 different organizations working on this service project. So let's just say if you had a Girl Scout troop and they had, I don't know, 20 Girl Scouts, and each one sold 10, that would be 200 already. And so that would be one way to get 200. And then you have the Sunday school class doing the same thing. And, you know, all those Finleys don't have to go to the same organization. They could go, you could divide it up or whatever. But you could enlist the help of different groups to help you sell those. So that's one way to do it. So Finley is one way to do it, okay? Another thing you can do is, if we don't do Finley, before I leave that subject, though, I was on a call with my coach. It was a group coaching call, and somebody came up with the idea that you could even do this with online people. Now, the difference with an online order is that the order is shipped directly to the customer, and so that wouldn't get the Finleys to you to be able to deliver to the organization. But if you wanted to, you could do it online, and you could tell them, if you buy 2 Finleys, that will be free shipping, because that would be $50. That would be free shipping, and then ship it to me so I can collect it. So you would make a flyer that you would say, order online 2 Finleys, ship it to Carla at this address, and I will make sure these go with the rest of them to the organization. Because when you place an order on your online store, you can ship it to wherever you want to. You can put it as a gift and ship it to somebody. So and then that would help you get online sales. And it would also help you get sales from friends and family who don't live near you, right? So that's an option on the Finleys. Another option, let me see. Hold on, I got some more people. So Cecilia says, great ideas. And Carla says, service project, great idea. Then they could be donated to a social service agency. Yes, Carla. Yeah, and you know what else? You earn commission on these. So depending on what your sales are, depending on what your commission is, now you are in your first 7 campaigns, so you're at 40% earnings. Now you have the ability to just do this service project, and you've earned 40% if you want to make the money. Or you could find an organization like a Sunday school class or a church and have them do a service project, and they could make 20% towards their group and still have all of these Finleys to give to this organization. Or you could match their donation. So now obviously you can't match them 2 for 2, one for one, because you're not earning 50% unless you're President's Club and you're at 50%. But you could say that you will, for every one you buy, another third of a one will be donated to the church. So, and I will match your contribution, or something like that. So there's lots of different ways. You just have to get creative. Okay, so that's one way. Do you have anything you want to say about the Finley?
Yeah, well, something else we did too. We were doing local events, and at the time, I think we had the Lion that we were doing.
That's what it was.
And I was sitting there, and because I'm kind of out there and I'm kind of weird, but I had a big bucket there, and I said, donate. At the time they were $20 for the Lion. I said, donate $20, and I said, if you can't afford that, then give me $5 for a leg, or $5 for an arm, or $5 for a head, or $5 for a body. And I was collecting, and I took all the money, and whenever I had $20, and at the time we were earning 50%, I was able to get two of the Lions for every $20 that we got in. So there's, like I say, you kind of have to go outside the box, chunk it down, and make it simple for you, but just have fun with it.
The other thing we did was we were a member of the chamber. And so we went to the chamber meeting, and we had the flyer, and the flyer is a fundraiser flyer where you can write on the back your name and how many you want and all that. And so we had the flyer with us, and it was Rory the Lion, you're right. Yeah. I had the Rory the Lion. I literally one-on-one went to every chamber member and said, can I count on your support? Will you donate one? And I think we had 200 orders that day. I mean, that's how we did it. So if you make it your mission and you get serious about it, this is something that can work. So Arnita said she loves that, Richard. Hey. Okay, so then we talked about Roar. We talked about Finley, the fox. What about regular fundraisers? If you found a school or a church or an organization and you did a full book fundraiser or you did a flyer fundraiser, seriously, you could probably make, at least you could make several thousand from one fundraiser. I mean, I've seen fundraisers that have done $20,000. I've seen fundraisers that have done $2,000. But what's between now and the next 8 campaigns, what's the reason why you couldn't have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 fundraisers going on? Because you're not really doing the work. You're just setting them up for it, right?
Yeah.
And so they could do a regular fundraiser with a flyer or a full brochure. And, they, of course, the school or the church or whoever would collect all the orders, and they would give them to you. And then you would create an invoice for, this is how I do it. I would create an invoice for them saying, okay, this is how much you earned. You sold, let's just say, try to make it easy. Let's just say I was giving them 40%, and that actually wouldn't even work. But let's just say I was. And they brought me $1,000 worth of orders. I would create an invoice for them for $600 because I would give them 40% off right away. So then I would take their check right now for the $600. I'd place the fundraiser order, and then I would get the order back, and I would bag it all up by classroom or by student or whatever, depending on the situation. And of course, I put an Avon brochure and a business card in every bag, and all of that. Or you could do online fundraisers. You could do the give back fundraisers. You could have 150 different fundraisers going on at the same time. They're all online. So it takes literally less than 5 minutes. It takes like 2 minutes to set up a fundraiser. And you could just talk to everybody who needs a fundraiser, who needs I'm going to do a give back. What do you need? Who else needs a fundraiser? Let's get it going. And if you have 200 fundraisers going on between now and the next 8 campaigns, you think you could get that $13,000? I think you could if you played it right. It might be, you might have 3 or 4 fundraisers, you might have 100, but none of them take any more time, especially the online ones. They don't take any of your time other than the 3 minutes that it takes to literally type in their name and set up a web address for them on the website. So what do you guys think? Tell me, what do you think? So Carla loves the service project. I think, it's that time of year, and different groups, different organizations, they're looking for service projects. And our Finley, I wish I would have, I didn't print the flyer. I should have. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Well, this is all confusing because they've changed how this program works. Okay, so let me see if I can go to, while I'm doing this, you guys start thinking about what you're saying. So
yeah, Patricia says she's all in, let's rock it, and I'll go to Jamaica. I agree. This is really a good thing to learn here. This is something we do in our business all the time. We call it either reverse engineering or chunking it down. And basically what you do is you know what your end goal is. Say you need to make $10,000. So you go back to the beginning and you just divide it into how many campaigns you have, how many days you have, how many weeks you have. And you break it down into bite-sized pieces. It's like eating an elephant one bite at a time. You can't eat the whole thing in one bite, but you can eat it a bite at a time. And that's the same with any of these projects. Come up with some ideas, and then chunk them down, break them down to the smaller elements to see how much you need to do each day or each week or each campaign. And it becomes more doable. The scare factor kind of goes away when you get it down to, oh, that's not so bad. It's only 1 or 2 a day. And you look at the big thing where I have to sell $1,000. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. So let me see what we got here. So Tracy says, great advice. Let me get back here. So great advice. And then Patricia says,
yeah.
I'm all in. Let's rock it and go to Jamaica. Okay, yeah. Patricia, I will see you there. I'll buy you a drink. And
bar.
Bonnie says, if you are already in PC Club this year, what do you have to do? What do you have to get to go to Jamaica? Bonnie, you're going to have to look at your own goals because if you're already in PC, Avon gave you goals, and I think it was a 50% increase, and 25% of it had to be online. Well, they've now waived that. So if you have a 50% increase, you get to go to Jamaica. So it's a stretch for everybody, but it's not like the old trips where you had to sell $115,000. 110,000 a year. Now it's more like 30 or 40 or whatever. So you'll have to look at your goals. If you're not sure what your goals are, Bonnie, well, if you go to, I don't know, if you're in leadership, it's on your dashboard.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know, then ask your coach or somebody. You can send me a private message. I'll try to help you, but I can't see your screen. So anyway, Carla says, I retired from the Salvation Army, and we are always looking for toys at Christmas.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect fundraiser to give because there are family shelters in every area that can use these plush toys.
Yeah.
Awesome, Carla. Do you have connections still there? That would be amazing.
That'd be a good start.
Salvation Army is huge. So, yeah, that would be amazing. So here's the flyer. It's hard to see. I mean, I guess I could, let me take myself down.
Well, something happened. We went away again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, shoot.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Where you go? Well, you clicked off the picture. Nobody heard us.
Well, I'm being told that when I took the picture down, nobody could hear me.
Can you hear us yet? Let us know.
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So here's the Finley flyer. I guess you didn't hear all that. So here's the flyer. It's $25. On the back side, it just has where you fill in your information, and then the people that buy the Finley just write their name and address and phone number and all that. And then it's up to you if you want to charge the order processing charge. I would definitely charge tax, though, unless you're doing it for an organization that is a 501c3. If you're doing it for an organization that's a 501c3, you can work with Avon to get the sales tax taken off. But for the most part, like for something like this, for a Finley, I think we charge tax, and then we give them to whoever, the fire department or whatever. So now you can hear me. I guess I learned I can't take myself down, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird. I know you can, but
we had mentioned, I think what we had talked about, it might have been blanked out, was Carla said she used to work for the Salvation Army. So she has a connection there. So maybe she could go to the Salvation Army and link up with them to get a lot of toys and stuff for kids for Christmas time. So it'd be great.
So Carla says she's gonna, I'm gonna call them.
Yeah, you bet.
Awesome, woohoo!
Yeah.
And then she said, "You can't hear, no sound,
We're
no
good.
sound." Okay, you guys, sorry about that. Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that. So let's see. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to take Finley down. And okay, so now I'm back on my website. So this is if you're doing the flyers. Those of you that have been around know this already, probably, but you can do flyers. Just like the Finley flyer, each of these flyers has products on them for sale. And on the back side is where customers can write their name and phone number and all that information. Or you can go from earnings and go to fundraising right here. And you can do online fundraiser. So as you can see, I have quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fundraisers I have that are active right now. Most of them are not doing much, but you know what? Each one is doing a little bit, and this one's almost over. These 3 are almost over. This one just got started, so this one has a potential of more, and this one just got started, and so these 2 could end up being really big for me. But if I had 50 fundraisers going, and if each one of them did $26, this is earnings. This is actual earnings. This isn't sales. So this is the percentage of the commission that I'm giving them. It's not my actual sales, so it's actually higher than that. So again, all of that goes towards your sales for the year. And if people and when I do an online fundraiser, and this is really important, when I do an online fundraiser, you know, every Tuesday Avon comes out with, at least they have. I don't know what they're going to do right now, but they've been coming out with that, you know, the high 5 where you place a $50 order and you use this code and you can get X product for free. So I will take those images and I'll email each of my fundraisers, the chairman of the fundraisers, and I'll say, this is the hot special, this campaign. If your customer orders $50, they get free shipping and they get this free product. Just make sure they use this code. And I am staying in touch with them minimum weekly, sometimes more often. If they get an order, I email them right away and say, you got an order, awesome. You know, you might want to thank that person and give them their contact information. So, but it's a matter of staying on top of it. I posted in my Facebook group, Online Beauty Biz. Let me see if I can find it real quick. In the group, in the files section, I recently posted this checklist for fundraiser, and now it's going to open, and I'm not going to be able to see it. Crap. This is weird. This new program is weird. Now you can't see it. I think I have to share again. So I'm going to take that down, put that up, do this all over again. There you go. Checklist for fundraising. So you know, you kind of, this is like when you have a fundraiser going, and this is what you're going to work with the organization with. So, you know, you kind of help set up a goal for them. What do they want to make? What's their goal? Is it $500? Is it $1,000? Whatever it is, what their goal is, and how much they're going to need to sell times whatever percentage you're giving them, and how many number of members equals sales needed per member, right? And then you're going to make sure they understand what the link is. You're going to set up an email group and a Facebook Messenger group or Facebook group for all members of your organization, including your Avon coordinator. This would be for the organization to do, and they would hopefully include you in it. And that way, that can be used to answer questions and share weekly posts. And so if you're in a Facebook group, a private group with your organization, then you could give them posts. You could give them posts all the time saying, hey, check this out, or hey, we got this special, or you know, all different kinds of things. And then they're saying create an introductory post for your organization's Facebook page and share tag all members of the organization. And then go down here and it says ask your own Facebook friends to do a one-time post on their timeline. So this, you'll want to get this this checklist, because it will really help you to help make your fundraiser more successful. So Denise says, how long do you give to do a fundraiser? You know, Denise, it really depends on the organization and how much they want to raise and all of that. You can do it for 2 weeks, and I mean, you can do it for 60 days, and then I think you can extend it past that as long as you extend it before it ends. But I usually on the online ones, I do 30 days. That's what I've been doing. I've been telling them, let me do it for 30 days. Or if it's like the end of the month, like I just signed one up. One of them, I think, said 33 days left or something, because I had just signed them up last week. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you through October. And then we can extend it if we need to. So an online one, I do 30 days. You could do 2 weeks. If you're doing a flyer, I strongly suggest that you stick with 2 weeks for a lot of reasons. I think the most important one being is that sense of urgency. If the organization thinks that they have too much time, they procrastinate and they don't get it out and they don't do what they need to do. And that's even true on an online fundraiser. So it might not be a bad idea to start it with 2 weeks and then extend it if you need to. But especially with the flyers, because if you give them 2 weeks and they go out and they get busy and they do it, and then they come back and they bring them back to you and you've got the orders. If you're doing a full brochure, now a full brochure can get really complicated. So I don't suggest you do that unless you have experience and unless you've been with Avon for a while, because a full brochure is where you give brochures to every student in the classroom. You give them a couple of brochures and they go out and take orders. And it can get really complicated pretty quickly. It's just a lot of details. I mean, if you're good with details, that's fine, but you just got to make sure that you take care of everything. And the other problem with the full book and not the flyer is that in the full book, there's a chance that something could be out of stock. And so if that were to happen, you don't want to take away from the fundraiser. So what I've done in the past is if I have a full book fundraiser and they're out of a product or it's gone, or whatever, if it's something that's just out of stock for now, then I'll put a note in that person's bag saying this item was out of stock. As soon as it's back in, I'm expecting it around this date, and as soon as it's back in, I will get it to you. Or if it's not available, I would put a gift certificate in there that they can use that X amount of dollars towards free products from me. And that's because we want to keep the fundraiser whole. We don't want to jeopardize any of the earnings that they had. So probably more than you wanted to know. But let's go back to, I'm going to take
Arnita said something.
This down and just go there. Okay, so Arnita says, I think I've been running mine too long in the past. I think I will try doing 2 weeks. You know, I think that's a good idea. Like I said, I've been giving 30 days, and as you saw when I showed you my fundraisers, I'm really not doing that great. So maybe I should go back to 2 weeks too. I used to, back in the day before we had online fundraisers, I really didn't let anybody go longer than 2 weeks. Oh, and what I was going to say is if you're doing a brochure, you for sure want it to only be 2 weeks and you need to figure the timing so that you can place your order, right? But yeah, I think really it's all about that sense of urgency. Now, if you're just doing the Finley, the Fox, and you've got that goal to sell 550, Carla, you're going to sell 550 of those Finleys, then there's not a time limit on that. It's just you working. You're not giving anybody a time. It's more like you're just going, hey, can I count on you? Will you buy 2? Give me some money. I take your credit card. I'll be happy to take your credit card. But you got to create that urgency. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Arnita.
You really do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Sorry about the couple of hiccups we had. I'm going to have to figure out. This is new. This program I'm using to share my screen, it's a new version. It's like they updated it, and it's a little bit different. So I guess I have to figure out more technical details. But thank you all for being here today. I hope that you found this helpful. And I for sure hope you found it helpful because I want you in Jamaica. And Carla, I want to buy you a drink in Jamaica now that I've picked on you all night. And everybody else. Denise, you're going to Jamaica. Who else? Arnita, you're going. Tracy, Melissa, Lily, Bonnie, Patricia, you said you were going. So I want to see all of you guys there. Okay? So anyway, have a great day. And we will see you, actually, today's the 29th. Next week is the 6th. We are going to be dark next week because Richard and I will be out of town. So we'll be back on October 13th.
Yeah, everybody get out there. If you've never done a fundraiser, start one. Get it going as soon as you can. Just get one going. Like we said, we talked about earlier, if you procrastinate it, it's going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks going to go by. You're going to have less time to hit the sales goals that you want to hit. So get out there, get some experience under your belt. You know, get one going, get an online one going, get a local one going, and just get some experience under your belt, and you're going to find out how easy it really is, and get them going.
And even if you're not perfect, it's okay.
Yeah.
You'll learn from it, and the next one will be better.
Yeah, and the thing we've learned too is you get success with one, then you have that to springboard off into the next one. Because you can, if it's something that's local, you can go to the other organization, say, hey, I just did a fundraiser for this one, and they raised X amount of money or whatever. So you have that to jump back onto.
And a lot of these organizations talk to each other too.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, you know, I had this girl, Carla, that did a fundraiser for me, and she did amazing. And so next thing you know, you're picking up more. So Arnita says, great live, thank you. Carla says, sounds great. And Tracy says, trying. Tracy, you know what happens when you try? You either do or do not. So I know you can do it. And Arnita says, yes, I'm going.
And Tracy, that's her birthday.
And Tracy says, that's your birthday. I assume you mean October 8th. Yeah. October 13th is your birthday. Or maybe you're talking about you're going to have
Jamaica.
a birthday in Jamaica. Either way, it's great.
I'll buy you a birthday dinner and a drink.
The 13th is her birthday.
Oh, okay.
And Carla says, I am looking forward to meeting you all in Jamaica.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. Have a great week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.